Hello, lovely humans. My name is Laura Scarlett Martin. I'm here today with my co-host, Simeon Papaelius. We are the hosts of Broker's Playbook podcast, the podcast for real estate thought leadership and mortgage brokering.
We do have the pleasure of having Jamie Purvis, his daughter Jacklyn Purvis. They are the heads of the Be, Do, Have movement, and we're here to hear all about it. Jamie, Jacklyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
There was a pause. Thanks for the invitation. We're grateful to be here.
Good.
Jamie, thanks for joining us. Why don't you get us started? Tell us a little bit about who Jamie Purvis is. Tell me a little bit about how your daughter fits into this. Did she join you in real estate? How did she come along? Tell us maybe that 30-second elevator pitch on who Jamie and Jacklyn are.
Yeah, absolutely. Been in the real estate space since 1986 and top producing agent, built out a team, decided to launch a brokerage, became the number one brokerage in Canada 3 years in a row. In that process, I realized I wasn't being fulfilled anymore. I had a passion for coaching and made a decision to walk away from the industry at the end of 2018 and launch the Be Do Have movement. And in that journey, I was coaching Jacklyn in a program that we have. And sometimes you don't know what's in front of you until you take the time to actually realize and calm down and be present and realize that she was an incredibly talented individual and it only made sense to partner up together to build out this brand.
Awesome.
I love that. Jacklyn, did you start in real estate or were you were obviously born in real estate, you're a real estate family.
As was I, by the
way. Yeah, that's actually Laura's story as well. She grew up in real estate, no doubt about it. Jacklyn, did you actually become an agent / broker? What was your path and what did you choose to get coached in?
So funny enough, thinking back, I actually got my license at 18. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I was kind of like trying out everything. Got my license, ended up going to Australia instead, and then ended up in marketing. So I worked at an agency for 3-ish years, just over 3 years. And as I was there, I took one of our programs, Thinking into Results, and it's all about developing your conscious thinking and who you want to be and what you can do in this world, basically. And I realized going through that I was in an industry that was sucking my soul a little bit. So I started just helping Jamie. It was on the side. I ended up quitting the agency, doing some freelance and realized like my passion's in this. There's like so much purpose in what we do and what we're able to help our clients create. And it was a complete no-brainer just to partner
because you're actively helping people.
Yes.
And when they actually listen and there's results, that's so tangible. It's something you can hang your hat on and get fulfillment from. I totally understand it because I'm the team lead. I run our team operations for the REC. My partner runs the sales division. So every day I coach 50 guys and gals into battle. Laura does the exact same at Matrix Global.
That's our purpose. Yeah, we don't really, it happens. We're like, I'm not satisfied by driving people around to open houses or whatever, or to show them listings. I can't just keep making money for the sake of making money.
Yes.
I need to have like real heart sort of impacts on people and have a real impact on their lives and their lives going forward. So.
Well, there's no doubt that's how this podcast was born. It was born literally at the first month of the pandemic as something for us to be able to connect with our industry people at a time where connection was literally stopped. So that's how this was born. And I couldn't be happier to have two people that understand human connection on. Jamie, the name Be Do Have, where did it come from? It's very powerful. Tell me about the origins of Be Do Have.
Yeah, I think the philosophy and principle has been around forever. Unfortunately, I think we have it all backwards based on what we're taught. We're taught that if we want something, we're going to have this goal. I'm going to go out and do these things to help me achieve that goal. And when I do, then I will be happy. Then I'll be successful. And I saw that in myself. And then I saw it in our company. I saw it with the agents we were working and training with. And as I started to really focus in shifting that and realize that it's upside down, I'll have everything I want when I become and live as if I've already achieved it. So how do I shift my mindset, right, Simeon? Like it's so powerful and it's so simple. It's by helping people get clarity on exactly what they want. Laura, we talked about that, right? When you get clear on what you want, you understand you have everything you need within you. And I really encourage our people to understand that they have everything they need. We don't need more. And there's this challenge today. There's social media and everything is more and more and more. I need this and this shiny object syndrome, right? And if we just slow down and just start to focus and start to imagine, become a child, use our imagination, create the world in our mind first, start to believe that it's possible, then we can shift and create new habits. Then we can do things differently. Ultimately, the have is a byproduct. Like I know I'm a goal achiever. I'm going to achieve every goal I set. I have a history and pattern of that. But I also believe everyone's a goal achiever. They may not see where they've achieved goals. So if we can bring clarity to that and help them live this principle of be, do, have, their success happens so much faster than they may have thought it would be.
That's because you're already living your best life. And when you're living your best life, I'm going to share something that I believe relates and resonates with me from what you just said. Is I remember the day, and it must have been about 2014, 2015. I was at a level of production that I never dreamed of because I started with nothing. I didn't have a book of business. I came from the hospitality industry, then the financial industry, and then into real estate, only because I understood the sky was the limit. And if I worked hard, I would win. And sure enough, if I worked hard, I would win. I did win, and I did work hard, and I still work extremely hard because I like it. I like working. I like the actual premise of work. I like it. And the difference between 2006, 2007, when I started, and 2014, 2015 is I was doing enough deals. I networked enough where I realized I was only doing business with people that I liked on deals that I liked. So the B in the be, do, have came upon me, blanketing me, because that's what effectively I was doing. There was enough deals where I was naturally choosing the deals that suit me, working with those that suit me in my agenda, in what I'm trying to put out into the world, to make my mark on the world. So the be, do, have, the way you explained it, is something that's phenomenal. Jacklyn, what's your take on this?
Jamie worded that really well. And I think it's just remembering that it's a journey. And as much as we're helping our clients through that, we're doing it ourselves and living that every single day. And it's what we come back to. Who do you want to be? How are you showing up in your world today? And are you at peace with that? Are you at balance with that? Are you confident in that person? And those are skills we're always working on and we're always adding to. But that's the first thing before you get stuck in the systems and the action steps and the tasks. It's who are you showing up as and who are you being first?
Yes. And I actually got to do a trial run with Jamie, and what really left me was something he said, which is basically every day ask yourself, who do I need or want to become so that I'm, getting to these goals that I've just specified? Who do I need to be, right? And, you can put some adjectives in there or whatever, but then you just live into that. And I also put sticky notes everywhere just to remind myself to be here now and things like that, be present. Just be there for people. Like this isn't a test run. This is real life, right? Like it's not tomorrow. It's right now. It's today. You can act on your goals right now, today, and be that person that is achieving your goals today. So I felt extremely empowered and probably had one of the most transformed weeks of my life. So thank you for that. And something I'm dying to hear, selfishly, I'm dying to hear, and I know everyone else is. So Jamie and Jacklyn have a secret sauce where they can work a miracle. They can turn last year's income into this year's quarterly income. They have a formula for this. Now tell me you don't want to hear this. Come on. I don't care how purpose-driven you are.
What a sizzling setup. What a sizzling setup.
Oh, boy. No pressure, guys.
Well.
Thanks. Go ahead, Jacklyn. No, I want to hear her perspective, because it's so incredible to, as we're living this ourselves, to hear her perspective, and then I'll share a couple things around that.
Yeah, doing a 4x year over year is not easy. I have done it before, but not many times. Maybe a couple.
It's a hat trick for sure. It's a hat trick.
But let's hit it. Jacklyn, give it to us, girl.
I'll sum this one up first. So the first thing, it really does come again. I'm going to tie in that be, do, have process into this, because it's, do you believe it's possible, number one? Because so many of us run into that and they hear that statement. They're like, that's BS. And that's it. It's not going to happen, because in your head, it's already a no-go. So it's working on that belief state first. And then you're getting into the clarity and the action steps. And okay, what have you done before and how can you do this bigger? And then the result is getting that income growth that you're looking for.
Nice.
And belief, we always step into that first, right? So number one, do you believe it's even possible? Because I deep down believe once somebody is aligned to that it's possible, whatever it is, whatever path they're down, they're going to buy in. So they have to sell themselves first. And I have so many people, when we present this idea, resist it and give me all the reasons why it's not possible.
And all you have to do at that point, Jamie, I'll tell you right now, is agree and tell them to walk out the door.
You're right. Get out of here.
Or before I've opened the door now before they leave, I'm going to ask them this. If that wasn't true, and everything you just told me wasn't true, and we went through each of the items you just gave me, and we then wrote down the polar opposite statement of what you just said, you've just now created a path to show me exactly how it's possible. So I've just reframed what they don't think is possible into now a possible thought, the world of possibilities. So my first goal is to help people get clarity. And Laura, we went through this, right? So what do you want? And then once we get clear on what we want, then we have to drill that down a little bit more. Why do you want it? And what's important about that for you? How are you being fulfilled? Who else is benefiting from this success? As a father, as a husband, as a son, as a brother, like this is more than just business, right? So from a personal life. And when people get clear and that spark goes off, and you can see it. I mean, you coach people, you see it. You just see when that spark goes off in somebody, then my job is just to keep that fire burning. Keep them aligned to their goal. Keep that vision in front of them. So when they're falling off track and they lose belief, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And none of us know what's possible over the course of a year.
Is the Beat Do Have movement, guys, is this formula to 4X, to do last year's number in a quarter? Is this based specifically, are you working on mindset, or are you also providing systems for real estate or mortgage brokering to actually use for your listing presentation, for your buyer appointments, or is it strictly based on mindset?
Starts with mindset. It has to be mindset. If we don't have the belief, then it doesn't matter what system we have, because you might have the perfect system, yet in your mind, it's not working where you are now. So now we're chasing a new system.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Laura.
And to that end, when you're determined, you become very resourceful, right? You're like, okay, well, this process is too slow to get me there. So I need to find one that works. I'm going to talk to so-and-so that has a product. I'm going to listen to these different product demos or ask around from top producers.
One of the things I like to focus on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jacklyn.
I was just going to add, that's really the differentiating piece with us. It's versus a lot of other coaches where they're getting that all of the system and script side of things. This is how are you thinking as a leader? And it's a combination, as much as it's mindset, you're getting that outcome in your business. So we are focused on like the metrics that we're measuring so that you're getting that growth that you're looking for, but it is coming from a mindset base. That's why it's a unique high performance approach.
Yeah.
And I also believe this. Most people actually know what they should be doing. They may not be doing it. So we tend to ask a lot of questions because I want to encourage people and empower them to understand that they are leaders. They already have the answers. I would never encourage anybody to put all their belief into somebody else, because then you're giving away your power.
Mhm.
So if we understand that, if we just think, I love your thought leaders, right? Well, let's lead ourselves. So if we can cause somebody to think, so they can start to look at situations differently from a different perspective, and then they understand that the answers are within. We have systems and models to guide you no matter where you are. We have 3 coaches in our life. So we have coaches that are guiding us down this path of journey that we're on. But we really focus on mindset, and we're heavy on it. And people really start to understand that they have what they already need. Are they applying it? Are they putting it into principle or practice?
Amazing. Something you shared with me that was so helpful. And it, as a leader, it's like there's no one to hold you accountable. So you go unchecked, right? No one's like, hey, did you meet your
It's also
KPIs?
lonely. Don't
Oh,
forget
Very
the
very
lonely
loneliness
up
that you
there,
can feel.
man. So maybe you have a co-leader, but how do you check each other? You know, that's a whole other weird flat power structure where you don't want to step on each other's toes. You don't want to be mommy or daddy to each other. So how can you get accountability towards your goals without casting shade and judgment and all these other things? Can you share that accountability meeting success formula with us?
Go ahead, Jacklyn. I'm watching you.
Go ahead. I'll let you lead on that one, and then I'll
Okay,
jump
so
in.
it goes back to, again, ego is a funny thing, right? Ego wants to look good and be right. And sometimes when you're in relationships, business relationships like this, it can become very confrontational. That's the benefit of somebody outside, because I'm not attached to the feelings of it. I'm attached to you achieving your goal. So if I can help you both stay in alignment to achieving your goal based on your selfish reasons, entrepreneurs, top producers, they're typically D-driven personalities. They're going to make it happen anyway. Once they get in alignment, they're now working together and they're not fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now you start to change the conversations. You start to hear limiting beliefs. We all have limiting beliefs. But when we can listen with an open mind and just challenge the belief, not the person, and I'll say that sometimes, I'm just going to challenge that belief system, not you. I want to challenge that belief system, that thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps people then take a step back and realize.
I love that comment. It's so you're able to get in front of someone's words without being aggressive towards them, rather than their thought process. So stop.
Right.
This has nothing to do with you. It has with something that you just said. I love that. That
Beautiful.
is such a wonderful way to confront somebody that you would be sensitive to hurt their ego, or it could cause issues by hurting their ego. I love that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
What a great
Yeah.
tip.
And something that really stuck out is so you were saying, like, okay, so let's say you're having like a quick 15-minute check-in on what your goals were. And let's say my goals were to make 10 business development calls a day.
Mhm.
So let's say I'm talking to Simeon about my goal. He would say, okay, Laura, why do you want, like, what's your goal? My goal was to make $1 million this year. And by doing so, I would need to do 10 BD calls a week or something, or a day. And then he would say, okay, why do you want it? Why is it important? And I would get related to that. And then the activity goal, which is the 10 calls, you know, I'd say if I did it, how much of it I did, what I didn't do, what it got in the way, and what I'll recommit to that week. And the biggest part of this to me was that you're not allowed to ask why, because it's
Nice.
immediately a challenge. You can say who, when, what, how. And that doesn't get your back up like why for some reason. I don't.
Why, you know what it is? Why is like a parent, right? Like, why'd you do that? Why? And we all get these flashbacks to when we did something wrong as a kid.
Why didn't you listen? Why are you late?
Yes.
So, Larry, you're bang on. I love it. You're a great student, because the 4 questions: what, how, who, when. Never why. Why tends to cause judgment. So what was the goal? they reaffirm the goal to you. How did you plan on doing it? Who's going to help you? Who's going to support you? Who's going to leverage? Who can you help or who can help you? And then when do you want to begin? So your 15-minute check-ins can be around those 4 questions. What, how, who, when? You're recruiting somebody. What, how, who, when? Anybody in your team? Relationships. Those 4 questions, just isolating the why, keeping that out of the conversation, just levels the playing field.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
I find tremendous value in it. What have the results been, Jamie, with the Be Do Have movement? What is the feedback you're getting? How can people look into what you're doing if they are interested in finding out more?
So we have a ton of different programs. We have private coaching, a few group options, a Focus Made Easy program for people that are just starting out. So there's different avenues. Everything's on our website, bedohavemovement.com. And it's the results. We use this Be Do Have principle in everything that we're putting out, regardless of where you're joining and what you're doing. There's been over 7 figures generated from our clients. We've had over 130 students now in our programs. So it's expanding, it's growing, and there's a bunch of options depending on where you're at.
Awesome.
And one thing we've done is we've taken an idea, and it's no different than turning your annual income into a quarter. So we took an idea. I walked away from the industry, great success, had an idea, started a business. And now 3 years later, we're international from Saudi Arabia, North America. And we are on this journey of just expanding the awareness that we can actually live the life we choose to live by design, by stepping in and facing and having the courage to become the best we can be. If we all focus on doing that, it's all going to work out.
I love that. I'm going to ask for a piece of advice. I'm starting in mid-May, my very first training. I have about 30 students registered. I'm using a proprietary system developed by Company X. So it is branded theirs. But the way I'm starting this coaching platform is I'm going to have my students go through the weekly exercise given by the professional school that built this. And then I'm going to hammer home the implementation the way I would in my business. And we have built a $10 million book of business at this point. So we know a couple of things about selling real estate and creating systems and how to network and all those things that I want to develop my own systems in the future. But I want to take this year to really hone my craft in effective communication inside by being the center of attention, the teacher. I've been the team leader, but it's never the one, like your coach is your coach. It's a different level of relationship. I'm not looking at you from I sell X, you sell X. If you do this, no more. It's none of that. It's empowerment, which I believe in. All the things to do. I'm looking for your advice on perhaps what are the things I should be looking for this year if I'm looking to start growing as a coach?
Hire a coach. First thing, coaches have coaches. Most successful professionals in the world have coaches, multiple coaches. So find somebody based on what you feel your immediate need is. And I think once you have that, you get clear on, number one, why you're building this out for your students. Why are they joining the program? What is their ultimate goal? And I think as a leader, if you can lead them to their vision of what that goal looks like for them and narrow it down to one word. And I did this at the real estate company when I was running the company. You take your goal and then you break it down so you can define it in a word, a power word. And then as a coach, you basically have everybody's power word. And every time you see them, you just bring up the power word. So you're anchoring that in their mind. You're constantly casting that vision for a future objective for them. And you just pull people into this. Then if you're going to, is this Simeon helping them coach, helping them specifically in real estate?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So now you're going to lay out a business plan. Help them lay out a business plan. You have all the systems and models to do that. You have the evidence of all the success. And now you just hold them to do and follow through with what they need to do and keep them accountable. Everybody needs accountability. I don't like accountability. accountability keeps me on track to my goals.
Yes, indeed. Jacklyn, what's your piece of advice for me if I'm looking to get into coaching?
I was laughing at that question because that was the situation Jamie was in, right? 3 years ago. It was, how do you transition into that? And I think the biggest thing is, you can have any system and template, but it all comes down to the energy you're bringing to somebody, what you're bringing out and pulling out of them, and that accountability. And you're not going to get that. It doesn't matter the system that per se that they're using, but it's coming out of you, and that's already there. So
you do have who are you being? We can't escape it, right? We step into it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Guys, Laura, unless you have any specific questions, I want to slowly get this show wrapped up. I want our guests to definitely share a little bit more about their socials, where you can be found. What is your favorite platform for our audience to be able to engage with you?
I'd 100% say Instagram's our go-to. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn at We Do Have Movement. We talked a little bit about that being piece today. So who do you want to be? It comes down to discovering who you are now. So we do have a free self-discovery quiz on our site that takes you through that process. BeDoHaveMovement.com. And then for anyone listening, there is a code for our Focus Made Easy program. Helps you create clarity and goals and where you're going next. And that's available for under $50 with the coupon code Brokers Playbook.
Yay.
You are an absolute gem. We thank you for bringing this value today and all your insight on the show. It's truly appreciated by all. We get the feedback all the time. We already have all the kind of the assets that we need from you. So we are going to be sharing all of your handles, your website with the audience. Jamie, Jacklyn from Simeon Papa Elias, thank you so much. The last word by my beautiful co-host, Laura.
Thank you so much for coming on. You guys are so transformative. I feel like we are all birds of a feather. I'm glad we got to talk together today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
To our audience, thank you very much for joining us once again. We hope this brought you value. We hope this put a smile on your face. And get back to us with any and all feedback anytime. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye for now.
Bye.